Today is our second day exploring Green Island, a small volcanic island in the southeast of Taiwan. And we'll be spending this video visiting some of the most interesting spots and activities that you can't miss if you're coming here.
Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to Green Island. Beautiful Green Island, but also hot and sweaty Green Island.
As usual.
We are still here at the Safety Stop Diver in Green Island. We've been here for a couple of days now. We've been mainly scuba diving with them. We had so much fun scuba diving. We were really surprised by how beautiful it is here, all the things you can see underwater. If you're curious about that, go check out the previous video where we showcased what you can see here on Green Island underwater. We've been staying here at the accommodation here of Safety Stop Diver. They've got it. Our room is just next door here. It's very, very easy. You wake up in the morning.
It's literally right next to the...
Grab your scuba gear and you just can go diving. Dive sites are 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. They have 3 dorm rooms. I think they can sleep 15, 20, 25 people here, which is really nice to stay on site. You wake up and within 20 minutes you can be diving if you want. I really, really love that. They've also helped us out with renting a scooter for today, because today we're going to explore a little bit around Green Island. So a big thank you to Safety Stop Diver. This is the beautiful baby we are renting today.
Brand
spanking new actually. When I rented it, it had 10 kilometers driven. 10 kilometers, so they just took it here and that was it. So probably the first one renting this. Now it's got 20 something kilometers because I went to the harbor and back to buy some tickets, or to try and buy some tickets. Even the helmets are very new. They were still wrapped in plastic, so I had to unpack them.
And I know. So the reason most people come to Green Island is because of the nature, or at least that's what it looks like to us. And it is pretty nice here.
It's so beautiful here. So just the green scenery, the mountains, the rocks, the
underwater world,
underwater.
which we showed you in a previous video.
Really love it. And today we're going to explore also a little bit more of Green Island, also a bit more the nature part. But first, it's time for a little historic part. There's a pretty, let's say, darker history to Green Island, and this is the place where we are right now. It is called the...
Not this beach. It's not.
No, it's no. The beach is pretty nice. It's wait, turn around. It's this thing behind me. It is the old prison of Green Island. One of the main uses of the island in, say, more historical times was it was used as a prison, mostly for political prisoners. But we're gonna learn a bit more about that inside. This does look very, very prison-like. The lady at the entrance just explained that this was a political prison from 1972 to 1987, used by the KMT government to house political dissidents. I guess everybody that didn't agree with the regime, they were just arrested and put here. Mostly people who expressed their opinions against the regime. Professors, teachers, everybody was against the regime. They ended up here.
This seemed to have been a basketball court or something?
Yeah, it seems like it. Maybe this was put in like recently, I don't know exactly. Walls are pretty high with barbed wire. For a prison, I mean, views are not bad, I must say. It's have some beautiful green lush mountains here. And if somehow you
That's a small consolation though.
If somehow you can see through the wall or through a crack somewhere, you can see the ocean as well. I mean, it's still a prison, but as prisons go.
This is the inside of one of the prison buildings. It says here on this explanatory sign that all of the prisoners received re-education and thought reform on Green Island. I bet they did.
It's called the Oasis Villa, which is a pretty euphemistic name for a prison.
It is. Whoa, since we came in here you were sweating like a crazy person.
It is super, super hot in here. I mean, it's even more hot than outside.
It's so humid.
We just have to rush a little bit through this part because
it looks a little bit more like a kindergarten class or a sort of school than like a prison. I don't know.
yeah, indeed.
I think overall it might not have been as positive.
It looks pretty clean and nice now. Probably back in those days it looked a lot worse. It says here they were locked up in the cell for pretty much 24 hours every day. Sometimes they were allowed to go out for half an hour to the exercise yard that we saw, but most of the time they were just inside.
So here's one of the few cells that you're allowed to step into.
Yeah, this is one of the cells. It doesn't look very big, and there were a lot of people here just sitting on the floor, no place to sleep properly, just sleep on the floor. People almost stacked together. Now it's probably nice and painted, the walls and floors look a bit nice, but you can imagine living here for years on end. Some people spent up to 30, 40 years in these kind of prisons. Back then probably smelled very horribly, super hot because of all the people and super dirty. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like being tortured or something.
This place is an interesting contrast to the side of Green Island that we see, like the beautiful nature, super chill, let's go scuba diving, isn't life great? And then you sort of forget there's also places like this that are a bit of a grim reminder of
darker times in Taiwan.
Yeah.
It says here, Wang Guanghai, probably pronouncing that wrongly, was taken prisoner by the KMT because in letters to his cousin who lived in Hong Kong, he criticized the government and he was sentenced to a lifelong imprisonment here. Fortunately for him, he was released, I think, in 1988, but he still spent 20, almost 30 years of his life in prison because he wrote some letters that said, I don't agree with the government. It's crazy. Can you imagine? So there's a pretty gruesome and dark history to this prison. More than 140,000 people were locked up by the regime back then, and thousands of them were executed, or at least that's what I read when doing some research. And to be honest, I mean, it's good that it's here, but I also have a little bit of feeling that it's a bit more rose-colored, a bit better presented than it actually was. There's a lot of information signs, and one or two refer to a few prisoners being tortured for some things.
Probably things weren't as nice and like kindergarten style teachings and re-education of the prisoners. You don't lock people in there for
painted walls, nice floors, beautiful toilets.
Really I mean, nice. I can understand why they did it, that you don't want to leave it in the same state that the prison was by the time it was put out of use. But then again, it doesn't really depict the extent of the horror of what probably happened here. Probably the Taiwanese government deliberately went with the approach of highlighting the importance of human rights. Yeah. Because that's also the name of the little memorial park that's a little bit further down that road.
It's more about the human rights and the political imprisonment. Yeah. It's still a cool learning experience to be here, just to learn about this part of history from Taiwan.
And how Green Island was once so different from what it is now.
Yeah, it was so different. Time for our next stop.
Which is going to be on a little bit of a happier note.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a happier note. And after all this heat, as you can see, I'm sweating quite a lot. I'm in need of some cooling down, so it's time for some adventure.
And for once, the cooling down is not going to take the form of mango ice cream. No. We are leaving our ways.
What a disappointment.
What a disappointment. We're actually going... Ow. One-handed, not smart. We're actually going for some exercise, you could say.
Your carriage awaits, madam.
Oop, oop. My carriage is hot. Ow, 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 ow. Oh. Black leather seats. No good in summer.
Nope, they are not.
Pretty bumpy road here.
Yeah, very steep as well, with a pretty sharp U-turn. Oh, some shadow to park the scooter.
Shade! Now the guys at the dive shop told us that the rocks to get to the blue hole
can be a bit sharp.
Climb down and it can be a bit slippery and sharp, so we brought some diving boots.
In case we need them. Oh, I'm gonna take the key to be sure. Because it's a brand new scooter, don't want to get it stolen.
No. So any idea on where exactly it may be? Because I'm seeing a lot of options here.
I think they said to go right, so we're gonna check that out.
In case you've seen our last video of Green Island, the previous one, you'll remember that little spot on top of the mountain here, on top of the cliff, as being the viewing point at the end of the little Great Wall. This bit doesn't really look so sharp yet, but we're just gonna put on.
Yeah, gonna put on the boots to be sure. We have to climb through some rocks there, I think, so...
Better safe than sorry.
Maybe we should have brought our helmets too.
Never too late to go get them. There we go. It's nice and hot.
It's pretty cool to see that this used to be a coral reef too. Obviously not anymore because this is a dry piece now. But for example here you can see some, I think it's petrified coral. It's a piece of coral but it's turned into a rock. Pretty cool. And if you look around you can find some other examples too. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, this island grew out of the sea because of volcanic activity. So part of it was lifted from the sea, so that's why you can still see.
Literally all volcanic rock.
Yep.
Which is also why you have these dramatic cliffs pretty much everywhere on the island.
Yeah, this used to be part of the crater, so this part here was actually the edge of the volcanic crater. How cool is that?
Glad we brought the boots though, because it's not that slippery. It's not that sharp, but it's a lot easier with firmer footwear instead of sandals or flip-flops. One small step for man, one giant step for Kimkind.
It is a fine balancing act of not falling. Ah! Looks like you have found the place. I see about 20 people sitting over there, so should be right there.
The cave should be right around this corner, I think. Found the spot.
We made it! Wow, this looks amazing. Just look how blue the water is here. And just here around the corner, it's a small little waterfall trickling down. We've got this nice cave to swim in. Paradise. I call this paradise. All dressed up, or dressed down actually for the occasion. Now gonna get into the water. Oh, it looks super clear. It's amazing. Love this. Gonna jump in. Alright, here it goes! Oh, that's so refreshing. I love it.
Sliding down this little piece of rock here.
Look who also made it to the water. It's so relaxing. Oh. And the water is so clear.
The temperature is perfect. It could even stand to be just a teensy bit cooler. Like
Yeah, it could be. Like it's a little fresh, but it's not really cold when you get in.
No.
And with these temperatures, a little bit of cold could do me some good. Oh wow, look at that cave behind us. It's really cool. It's a nice place to have a little adventure, you know, to walk a bit across the old coral lake, or coral, no, not lake, sorry.
Coral lake.
Coral reef. I was focusing on swimming and not drowning here, but across the coral reef, and you come to this beautiful little place here with the sea right next to it and a cave behind us. Look, there's a few fish. I think it's a type of goby fish, and they're just climbing the rocks.
That's amazing.
I think that fish might be having a sort of identity crisis. Maybe it is thinking I'm a goat or I need to be something else, but no, it's okay little fish, it's okay. Just be a fish, just be you. You don't need to climb rocks. It's nice you can stand here, but if you're tired of swimming around and just want to lounge a bit, we got this cool little rock here. It's a bit like a couch. You could just hang out here, sit around and relax and enjoy. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. It's just gonna take a little while to enjoy the scenery and just relax a bit because it's such a beautiful spot.
I even spot a little armrest there. Fancy with this chair.
It's time to do a little rock climbing here on the side and then a little cliff jump. Always good to get the adrenaline flowing. It always looks a little bit higher when you're up here. Like when you're down there, like it's just a few meters. How high can it be? But when you're up here, but I'm just not gonna think about it and jump. 3, 2, 1.
shower, washed away the seawater. Really loved that spot, loved the blue hole.
Yeah, it was such a really beautiful place. Really loved it. I think we spent a pretty long time there actually. We just hung around, did some cliff jumping and just hung around a bit more.
Stayed there until about sunset.
Yeah, until about sunset. We wanted to go watch the sunset and show it to you guys, but we were a little bit on the later side. Before we got back to the scooter, it was already getting pretty dark, so we thought, let's just get back to this place. We took a little scooter drive around the island coming back.
And now we came back to safety stop. We just dropped off the scooter here. We're gonna go and get some dinner and quite possibly some beers.
Yeah, so we're going to show you our favorite restaurant here on Green Island. We've been here for a couple of days, tried out a couple of places, but this one is my personal favorite.
Also guys, while we have you here, please don't forget that this Saturday the 27th of June at 10 AM Taipei Standard Time is our first ever live Q&A on Patreon. If you are a patron or if you're becoming a patron, then you will get the chance to ask us any question you want live. We'll answer it for you in our Patreon community. If you're not familiar with what our Patreon is, it's a page where we post exclusive content, behind the scenes stuff. We do live Q&As just like this one every once in a while. There's also an option to get a postcard from us delivered into your mailbox, like not the email box, but like the literal physical mailbox, like a traditional postcard, once every month in return for a small donation. So please go check that out if you're interested in joining this Saturday's live stream, where we'll discuss pretty much anything you want, as well as some updates about what is to come in the next few weeks. You'll be the first to know. Make sure to go check out our Patreon page. We will link it down below in the comment box. But now, let's get some dinner.
Ooh, somebody's singing karaoke. We are a bit on the later end. There's not many people here anymore. Well, as you can see, all the tables are still pretty full. We passed by earlier when we were coming back. It was pretty packed here, but we waited a bit to have some place. So
that place we were just at, off in the distance, was a barbecue place.
It was really good.
It was really good, but it's really closed apparently.
No. Yeah, they're already closing down. It's just 8:30 now, which seems pretty early to close. And we were there a couple of days ago and we were open pretty late. So a little bit strange, but hey, we're gonna find another barbecue spot, which should be easy.
Because we're still hungry.
Or find another place. We also found another restaurant where we were earlier, which is also really good. So we might show you that one. Let's go and check it out.
We're gonna have to take the scooter now though.
Yep.
Which rules out a lot of beer. We're now on the main street here of Green Island, where most of the restaurants are, a lot of the bars and stuff, but most of the restaurants actually look pretty closed. So it's not even 9 PM yet. And it's like, technically it's a Friday night today, even though it's not really Friday, but because tomorrow is the start of Dragon Boat Festival, which is a major holiday here in Taiwan. It's gonna be super, 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 super crowded.
I think I have a plan B, which might even be cooler. We're just gonna grab some food here and then we'll take you guys somewhere. Two of this.
What we're gonna have instead is maybe even more Taiwanese than a barbecue.
And some pieces maybe. So yeah, one portion.
Alrighty. Lead the way, Captain.
Good to go, let's go.
One other thing that we've been wanting to do, and we had to choose between either doing the barbecue or doing this. We really wanted the barbecue, but that of course turned out not to be a possibility. One other thing we really want to do on Green Island is stargazing. It has the most beautiful starry night sky. And we drove to this spot all the way up on one of the cliffs here. It's a popular viewpoint, I'm not really sure what the name is, but anyway, there's basically no light here. If Naik puts out the light he's holding, it's pitch black here, so the only light we have right now is from his cell phone. So we're gonna walk out there and have our meal and do some stargazing.
Yeah, have a nice little picnic with stargazing. Let's go.
Pick your spot.
I pick you. Spot.
Alright.
We got ourselves a nice little white melon juice. I really love these, like when it's very hot, these are ice cold. A little bit sweet, but they got a good taste to it.
Bugs are eating me alive here. Because I'm holding the light, of course.
Yeah, you're attracting the bugs with the light. This just costs like 30 NTDs, like less than €1, less than $1 even. And we got ourselves a whole bunch of fried chicken.
Taking a mystery piece of chicken here. Aha! It is a
chicken wing.
I just hope this doesn't lure in any snakes.
Or maybe wolves or tigers. We're now gonna turn off the light and let you enjoy as well spectacle with us. Over there I can see the Milky Way. I mean, so clear you can see it.
There's hardly any light pollution on Green Island because obviously we're 33 kilometers off the east coast of Taiwan.
So just like the small lights from the city, but we're a few kilometers outside of the small city. And you can really see some of the constellations very clearly here. I mean, over there you can see the, I don't know what it's called in English, the Big Bear, the Big Dipper, I think it's called. Over there you can see some as well.
Can you hand me a piece of chicken? I'm having trouble getting one out of the bag with just one hand.
There you go.
Ooh.
All the bugs are coming out.
A really big piece of chicken.
Kim, can you now stop interrupting me with food? It's time for the very important stuff. Stars and stuff.
Oh.
Wait, I'm just gonna take a bite first.